Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform UK Party, finds himself embroiled in controversy following criticism of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's attire and conduct during his recent Washington visit. The fallout has drawn sharp rebukes from across the political spectrum, with accusations of equivocation on Russia's illegal war in Ukraine and comparisons to controversial figures like Jeremy Corbyn. Farage's comments, aired during an LBC radio phone-in, centered on Zelensky's informal attire, a black fatigue-style outfit, during his meeting with President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. He expressed sympathy with criticisms leveled at Zelensky's choice of clothing, echoing U.S. journalist Brian Glenn's question about the lack of a suit. Farage characterized the attire as disrespectful, a sentiment that has ignited a firestorm of debate. The context, of course, is Zelensky's role as the leader of a nation embroiled in a brutal war of survival against a Russian invasion. His choice of clothing, far from being a sign of disrespect, could be interpreted as a powerful symbol of solidarity with his people and the sacrifices they are making. The implication that such a symbol constitutes a lack of respect, particularly given the circumstances, rings profoundly insensitive. The Conservatives, drawing parallels to Jeremy Corbyn's controversial stances, have condemned Farage's remarks. The comparison highlights the perceived undermining of a key international ally in a time of war, a stance seen as both politically damaging and morally questionable. The contrast between Farage's criticism of Zelensky and the overwhelming international support for Ukraine further underscores the severity of the accusations. The Liberal Democrats have gone further, accusing Farage of uncritically parroting White House talking points. This accusation suggests a deliberate attempt to align himself with a specific narrative, potentially at the expense of objective analysis and a nuanced understanding of the geopolitical complexities at play. The implication of deliberate manipulation casts doubt on the sincerity of Farage's criticisms and raises questions about his true motivations. Adding fuel to the fire, Farage's dismissal of Nazi-style salutes made by Elon Musk and Steve Bannon at recent political events has further deepened the controversy. During the LBC interview, Farage claimed that the gestures were simply out to the side and not in front, a characterization that many find disingenuous and deeply troubling. The casual dismissal of such blatant displays of potentially fascist symbolism reveals a troubling lack of sensitivity and understanding of the gravity of such actions. The potential for normalizing or minimizing such gestures is profoundly alarming and undermines any attempt to present his statements as neutral or objective. This incident unfolded against the backdrop of Farage's appearance at the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, in Maryland. When questioned about his attendance, given Bannon's fascist-style salute from the podium, Farage dismissed any regret. His justification, that Bannon was taking the mickey out of Elon Musk, who also performed similar gestures at Trump's inauguration, reveals a disturbing tendency to trivialize serious matters. The sheer audacity of such a claim highlights a disconnect between Farage's worldview and the concerns of a significant portion of the public. This incident further underscores the criticism leveled at Farage for a perceived lack of moral compass and a willingness to engage in potentially harmful rhetoric. Furthermore, Farage's comments regarding Zelensky's interaction with Trump raise serious questions about his understanding of international diplomacy and the sensitivities involved in such high-stakes encounters. The suggestion that Zelensky was rude to Trump, based solely on attire, ignores the broader context of the war in Ukraine and the significant challenges faced by the Ukrainian president in navigating complex international relations. The apparent lack of empathy and understanding, coupled with the seemingly partisan defense of Trump's behavior, is a cause for concern. The controversy surrounding Farage's statements extends beyond mere political disagreement. It highlights a fundamental conflict of values and priorities. While Farage frames his criticism as a matter of personal preference regarding attire, his critics see it as a calculated attempt to undermine support for Ukraine and to align himself with controversial figures who hold views antithetical to democratic values. The cumulative effect of his comments, therefore, extends far beyond the immediate issue and raises critical questions about the role of political discourse in times of international conflict. The potential for such statements to erode support for Ukraine, embolden its adversaries, and normalize potentially harmful political symbols demands serious consideration and reflection. Ultimately, Farage's actions and statements warrant more than mere criticism. They demand a thorough reassessment of his position and his role in shaping public opinion.